The Amazing Digital Circus, one of the few indie shows I've watched fully. I've seen a bit of Hell of a Boss, but lost interest later. I've only seen the first season of Being Puppy Cat, so I never finished it. And Punch Punch Forever is the only other indie show that I like besides Digital Circus. But that's for another topic later. And in this video, I am back making characters into humans. However, this is a little different compared to my past videos. You see, the characters in the show are technically humans. They're just trapped inside of a cartoony, toy-like character. So, I will be designing them how I imagine them to look like in the real world, what they look like outside of the digital circus. Obviously, other artists have their own take on what the group could look like, and these designs are simply just my take on them. By the way, be sure to stay until the end for a special announcement later. And now with the intro done, let's begin the video.
What the f am I looking at?
The first one we'll be looking at is, of course, the main character, or I guess the main face of the show, Pomni. I had to do some research for her and the other characters to make sure I was accurate with their background. Thankfully, the 5th episode, Untitled, had a bit of lore dump with some of the characters so I could use it as a base to get ideas. But there'll be also a few personal headcanons I'll have just for fun sprinkled in. From what we know, Pomni worked as a grocery accountant and did pretty much mundane stuff. For fun, she apparently liked filming videos of places she likes to visit during night. Those places being mostly abandoned buildings just for the thrill of it. And that's all we know about her so far. And trying to go off from that information is a bit difficult. So I just come up with whatever feels right in my head. I like to think in terms of her design, she is very short. Probably around 5 feet tall or 5'1". I like to think she's this short because in the show, they often tend to mistaking her as a child often. And clearly, she seems to not like that. As for clothing, it's pretty basic. I gave her a button-up polo shirt with a white shirt under, some jeans, and worn-out shoes. Her hair is also just a simple bob. Her colors are obviously based on the colors she has as her jester look, just being red and blue. This was hard to do since I wanted Pomni to still look kind of recognizable, but I still wanted to make her look like a normal human being. And here's Pomni. She's pretty much how I imagined in my head. Just your average, normal, young adult.
I wish someone would flirt with me.
Next up is Ragatha. I really like her in the show and is probably in my top 3 favorites. Designing her was easy to do since dolls, or rag dolls in her case, were already human looking. I gave her some fancy looking clothes since she apparently grew up in a very wealthy family. I got the outfit inspired by Heathers, the musical, with the colorful, fancy uniforms. I also added some other accessories like a bow behind her head, a belt, some socks, and heels. I wasn't sure how to interpret her button eye. I was thinking of just giving her a simple eye patch. Some theorists speculate it might be a black eye from the abuse from her mother, but I didn't want to draw her having a black eye because it just makes me sad. So I just make it into an eye that's just blind. It's hard to see, but I also gave her some freckles because I thought it'd look cute on her, and I think it seems very fitting. Looking at her final design, it reminds me of Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, or a bit of Wendy from Peter Pan, which honestly, I think that aesthetic fits Ragatha personally, and I love how it turned out.
Daisy, Daisy.
The next character up is a fan favorite from the show, Jax. I'll be honest, I'm personally not a fan of him, which is honestly not a shocker because the whole point of his personality is being a troll or an asshole. Granted, I don't necessarily hate him compared to other people, because I think the show justified his attitude by punishing him for acting this way, and I felt like it was a good balance. Even so, I don't really care much about him. The only thing I can say I like about him is his design and color scheme. Anyways, for his look, I gave him a hoodie, some sweatpants, and Crocs. He looks like the type of guy who would wear that type of clothing. The colors are obviously a reference to how he looks in the show. And the only issue I was struggling was the design of his hair. As you can tell in the time lapse, I was struggling with it the most, and I just had to redo it several times with different designs. I'm pretty sure it's clear that I'm bad at drawing men compared to women because women are goated. But also, I drew them the most growing up, of course. Anyways, here's the guy. He's a guy. I don't have anything else interesting to say here. Let's move on.
Yeah, that clock's broken.
Coming up is another personal favorite of mine, Gangle. This was a bit difficult to go off from with her design literally being a ribbon and a mask. So I had to take a lot of ideas and creative liberties. Gangle is introverted and an artist, which I relate and is pretty much 90% artist on the internet if we have to be honest with ourselves here. She is also an anime lover, obviously. So I gave her some comfy looking clothes like a sweater, some tights, and slippers. I also gave her a ponytail on the back of her hair with a little ribbon tied behind. She also had these glasses that vaguely shaped like her mask, and it has tape in the middle since I imagine it breaks like her mask. I think she ended up looking really cute and is probably my favorite design out of everyone I drew. Random fun fact, Gangle is voiced by one of the few VAs I like, Marissa Lenti, who is very talented with their vocal range. Like, come on, listen to this.
It feels normal. Like, in a good way.
But seeing you like this really brings out my predatory instincts.
I want the ability to have sex.
Next up is my all-time favorite character in the show, Zooble. That's right, I love Zooble. Everything about them is amazing. Their design, voice, personality, Zooble is epic. Plus, she is a fellow gender fluid, and I approve. I just wish there was more merch of Zooble. So I tried my hardest to give them justice when designing them as a human. She was the only one I gave dyed hair because I think it's fitting. As for clothes, I just gave them what bartenders tend to wear. A black collared shirt with some black gloves, some jeans, and tennis shoes. I also gave their shirt some abstract geometric shapes to represent how she looks in the circus. And looking at the final results, I realized their hair reminds me of Lapis Lazuli from Steven Universe, but just messier. It was fine because I like the haircut anyway. I originally was gonna give her a tattoo since they are a tattoo artist, but I didn't know how to design a cool one for her, so let's just say they just have a back tattoo. We just can't see it. Also, Zooble is the best evil clone. I cracked up laughing every time I see them on screen. I'm not even joking.
Can you give me my eye back? Joke's on you, I've already forgotten what you're talking about.
All right, class. Today, we're gonna learn the popular foreign language known as English.
Last but definitely not least is Kanger, the literal king of the squad, the Giga Chad, the GOAT. But also a very goofy dad of the group. Listen, I know everyone in the show is an adult, but he's the oldest and he's just a lovable guy. I saw this really cute TikTok of this AU where Kanger is the dad and the rest of the characters were tiny little babies. I literally cried when I saw it. Sorry, I got off topic. Anyways, I made him a tall man, maybe like around 6 feet or 6'1". I don't know how tall exactly, but he is very tall. I gave him a white collar shirt since he looks like he works with technology and stuff. I mean, that's what most office workers wear. He also has some black pants, some work shoes, and a purple tie, as a nod to his robe that he wears in the show. He has some facial hair, like a beard and mustache, because, you know, he's old. This was also difficult for me since I don't draw old men often, but I think I capture his spirit a little. And that is my take on Kanger. It's not all that impressive, but I think it's moderately decent. And that is all of the main cast as humans. I didn't make one for King because 1, spoilers, he's dead, and 2, he's not an actual human, he's an AI. Maybe I'll make him into one, but who knows. Same thing about some other characters in the show, like Queenie, Ribbit, and Kaufmo. If you guys would like a part 2, just let me know. One last announcement before I end off the video. As of recording this, we are at almost 100 subscribers, which honestly is kind of insane for me because I didn't expect to get past double digits at least. Like, my expectations were very low and I didn't even think I would get close to 100, but here we are. I just want to take the moment to thank you guys for choosing to subscribe. It makes me feel happy that people kind of like my content. And if we get to 100 subs, I want to make a special video to celebrate it. I did a poll where I asked you guys if I should make a Q&A video to celebrate 100 subs. And most of you said yes. I want to do a Q&A video because I think it'll be fun and it's a good way to get to know me a bit more. So if you, yes you, the viewer, want to ask me something and want to be part of the video, you can ask me on my post yesterday in the comments to ask me anything you want. So be sure to do that. If you don't, I won't be able to answer it. I'll link the post in the description or in the comments so you guys can ask me questions. But if you for some reason don't want to, you can ask me in the comments of this video too. I just prefer if you do it in the post since it'll be more convenient for me. Now with all that out of the way, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Love yourselves.